Who's who? Ki moun ki ki moun. Citoyen kap vive dans communauté a ou de passage. Entrepreneur, professionnel, politicien, entrepreneur. Qui est-ce kap aider communauté à avancer? Qui est-ce kap fait back? Don't worry.
All right, welcome back. And don't forget you're watching Who's Who, Ki-Moon, Kiki-Moon. I'm sitting here with Gregory Griffith, CEO, CMT, ED, all the titles that you can think of. He's a very, very special man. So Greg, how about you go ahead and tell the viewers, how did you become the entrepreneur that you are today?
Well, honestly speaking, I've been driven to do this from a very early age. I had my first paper out. I was in 4th grade. Wow. You know, and I remember buying the papers for a nickel and selling them for 10 cents. You know, I mean, really, seriously.
So in other words,
I've been driven to be in this business for myself at a very early age. But the first bands, honestly speaking, beyond just, you know, selling papers, washing dishes, I mean, working in after-school programs, and, you know, my mom raising 5 kids, you know, no dad in the home, and just finding a way to contribute to the household. You know, you had to do what you needed to do to make a financial contribution. So as a result of that, you know, I discovered music, you know, as we spoke in earlier segments, and realized you can go out and make a decent amount of money performing. Yeah. So, you know, we had several bands. My brother made me lead of one of them. And as a result of that, it just became a part of me, music. Just loving it, performing, just the energy of a crowd, just doing that. So from 16 through high school, playing in clubs on the weekends. Go away to college, playing in clubs. Get my undergraduate degree in business. Leave in 1976, man. And June 1976, I graduated from Florida A&M University. And let me tell you something. I've been offered a couple of opportunities in New York City. I've flown to New York. Chase Manhattan was talking to me to become a loan officer. Flew me in, man, and stayed in Waldorf Astoria back then, and had no idea what type of prestigious hotel that was, just going to New York and being in the moment. But it fired me up in one way, but in another way it was like, if I go to work for someone this way, they're going to always be in control. That's right. And I thought about New York City, and I thought about the hustle and bustle, and you know, and in the back of my mind, and that's what I always say, and I'll tell your audience this right now: if it's a passion, then there's a purpose. That's right. If there's a passion, then there's a purpose. My passion at that time was my music. I just love performing. You know, I just love playing my bass. I just love the whole idea of it. So I took my undergraduate degree, threw it on the shelf. My mom had a fit with me. Of course, naturally. All my friends who I've been playing music with, we decided, man, 1976, we rented a U-Haul truck. I got out of school that June 9th, 10th, or whatever it was, 1972, 76, excuse me. Because I left high school in 72. 1976, rented the truck, took a big mattress, threw everything we owned on it, jumped on the U-Haul truck, left Tampa, Florida, drove all the way to Newark, New Jersey.
So let me get this straight.
Becoming an entrepreneur, a real take the chance, believe in yourself, create your business, go out, live your dream, and make it happen.
Let me get this straight. See, I'm hearing what you're saying. So you're saying that you and a couple of friends.
About 7 of them.
7 of, okay, 7 of you, right?
My younger sister, Ruby Baker, right.
7 of you, so including your sister?
Yes, my younger sister was in
Got in a truck.
Got in a truck.
Drove to New York.
Yep.
So no family, no...
we went to Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, Newark, New Jersey, okay.
Our dream was to go to do the Big Apple, you know, but at the end of the day, what happened, there was a motivating force for us to go to Newark, New Jersey. Our guitar player, Andre Walker, you know, at the time, his family was doing very well on his father's side in Newark. Right. And they had a home there that they offered us one of the floors in the home to live in. And they said, if we wanted to come and live this dream, we'll give you a place to stay. So the incentive to really make it happen was because Andre's family had a place there, and they were going to become our backers. Okay. So when we get there, we realized, boy, this is a lot. But they bought us a station wagon to get around in. They financed all of our live performance equipment. I mean, full PA system. Bought my second really great amplifier, you know, that I own. Was all financed through this family. But we took a loan from them, so to speak, and we went out and we started to perform. And let me tell you, that was just my dream then. I actually was oblivious to the fact that I had this business administration degree, because so much of me wanted to just play music. So I did. And from June 1976 until this very moment, I've never not been a professional musician.
So
Even
now,
as we speak right now, I just woke up from a job last night.
oh, so you performed last night?
I still perform.
Where did you go last night? Where did you
I was
perform?
over in Naples.
Naples?
A big casino there.
Oh,
Seminole
wow.
Casino, actually right outside of Naples.
So on stage and everything. Were you singing or were you playing?
I was singing. And as I said earlier, you know, this evolution as a vocalist just came about because I refuse to say that I can't.
I love that.
And it's a segment from the book that I'll save to quote to you later. But, you know, the fear monster likes to win. He likes to poke you on the back and tell you, you can't, you can't, you can't. And something inside me kept telling me, yes, you can. And here I am. And, you know, and I'm still involved with the music industry. I'm the vice president of the Urban Music Group. I've garnered the #1 single for our flagship artist. Her name is Rachel Brown. And if you go to rachelbrownlive.com, you'll find out a whole lot more about her music, what I've done. And I was working in a managerial capacity as well as a vice president and investor in the Urban Music Group label. And so now I'm still working as a VP and a consultant to them. You know, Rachel's in the studio doing her second CD right now, and we have a vision for what's going to happen with this. So as a serial entrepreneur, you know, my involvement with the music industry has never stopped. You know, but back in 1999, I had a vision to get into the real estate industry, but I had no money, and I didn't know how I'd do it. But I knew I wanted, just like the music business, I want to own property other than my primary resident, and I don't want to risk my primary resident. So Carlton Sheets, you may have never heard of him. He's one of the pioneers in the no money down, buy property type of concept. And I bought the program.
You bought it?
I bought his program. And I decided that one day I'm going to try these concepts. Did I waste my money or will it really happen for me? And that was 1997. That was 1997. And I bought an 8-unit apartment building.
And you bought it in New York or in Florida? North Miami?
In North Miami.
You still own all this property?
To this day.
Even though, I mean, real estate went down?
Real estate went down. Matter of fact, during the time the real estate was down, I bought property in Tampa over the last couple of years since the business has been down. Through the same concepts of just finding out, in other words, how to get owner financing. You know, I actually bought a duplex in the Liberty City area. You know, back, I think that was around the year, wow, what can I say? That was probably in the late 90s. Right after I bought the apartment building. And my point to you is this, that I decided I wanted to do that.
You wanted to do it.
I decided that I wasn't going to sit on the dock of the bed. I wasn't going to procrastinate. I wasn't going to keep stagnating myself with the idea that I can't. And when I finally decided that I wanted to do it, that it can happen for me, I took the concepts from Carlton Sheets. I went in, I got a yellow legal pad, I started looking through the newspaper, I started finding back then what they call owner finance properties. I found several of them, and I kept hearing no, no, no until somebody said yes.
So this all started in Miami, took it to Newark, New Jersey, came back. So would you tell the viewers that if you have a dream, nobody will give it to you, you have to go out there and step and get it and work hard? So another word, work without faith is dead, right? That's the scripture. I didn't say it. That's in the book.
You got to have a faith faculty.
You have to see it. You have to have vision.
You see, faith fuels enthusiasm's tank to take you to the next level. And see, enthusiasm is contagious. It's the kind of thing when people see you excited about something, that energy just filters into them, and then you begin to get that positive effect of what's going on. So at the end of the day, I'll say to all the listeners that never ever say never. Always believe that you can, because against all the odds, when I finally decided that I can, that I will, that I must, the universe answered my call. You see, at the end of the day, the universe answered my call. I refuse to accept that I can't do this. And as we'll speak later, you'll see that I'm the author of 2 books also. You know, and I mean the greatest accomplishments in my life have come from saying against all the odds, yes I can. I've run 15 marathons. I coached cross country in high school for 7 years. At the age of 43, against all the odds, someone said, man, you too old, what are you going to kill yourself? I ran my first marathon. And I ran it in 3 hours and 40 minutes.
3 hours, wow.
And every year since 1997 was a pivotal time in my life when I reflect. Even in this conversation, I'm reminiscing now to, wow, I bought that property, I ran my first marathon, I became a cross-country coach. You know, I realized my potential to, you know, I was just leaving one high school I've been in for 4 years to a new high school. A lot of things were going on, just like even as we speak right now. I'm moving on to a very pivotal time in my life where I've decided that, well, against all the odds, I'm going to take this shot. And I'm going to tell you something, and I'll tell you, listening audience, this. See, the only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. If you say I can't, it's a sure shot that you never will. But if you say yes, I can. If you just say yes, I can, it's like the old story about the bumblebee.
Right.
Nobody never told a bumblebee that it can't fly. You know, that it would be able to fly. Nobody said, no one ever scares you to told me that, you know, it ain't gonna happen. But because of the body structure, the little wings and everything that's going on, the odds are that the bumblebee would never fly.
It
never addressed, excuse me, the idea of I can't.
You're right.
If you say, yes, I can, it's a sure shot that you will win. And keep that enthusiasm, because it truly is contagious.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice, really, really nice talking to you, Greg. What we'll do right now, we'll go ahead and take a quick break and just let you know it's really a pleasure sitting here with you.
A pleasure.
And I'm feeling like I'm being motivated already.
Good.
Thank you so much for watching Who's Who. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And when we get back, we'll be talking about the books.
Who's Who? Ki moun ki ki moun.